Yo, what's good, my peoples? It's your boy, Big Chris, aka the Compton Animator, and I'm here to bring you another WWE SmackDown main event and NXT review. I'm not going to review TNA tonight. I didn't get a chance to watch it this week. A lot going on. I'll probably watch it over the weekend and catch up and then probably review it on my next week's show. But before we get anything, let's get into these reviews. And oh yeah, this week reviews is for the SmackDown of August 8th, 2014, just in case to give a little date in the video. But let's get into some news. Very, very big news coming off this week. And start with the release of Alberto Del Rio. Man, so there's been a lot of rumors going around about why this dude was released, and the main thing that WWE put up on their website is that he was released for inappropriate conduct and just something that happened in backstage or whatever. It got really serious, just by the whole way they put it. It wasn't just we wish him well in his endeavors or anything like that. It was just saying, he was released for inappropriate conduct and stuff like that. So, you got that. A lot of people were online saying a lot of stuff, and what even got crazy was you have the WWE who sent out two tweets saying, one, that Alberto Del Rio is responsible for his own actions. If you're angry at anyone, anger should be at Del Rio. There is no excuse for a pro athlete to not to conduct themselves in a professional manner. Now, this right here led to two speculations. Either that Del Rio was let go because he had an altercation backstage with a WWE, I think, network employee or some shit like that. Somebody who worked in the social media part, and they said that he had an altercation with him. He ended up slapping that dude, and it got around, and Del Rio was let go for it. I have two things on this. One, people are saying it may be fake. I mean, not maybe fake, but it may be a work. And they just may be playing this up to bring Del Rio back later on. Now, if it's not a work, which I totally believe it is, Del Rio fucked up. He did something, somebody said something about him or something like that, and he ended up hitting this dude, and he got let go for it. A lot of people are mad at the WWE, but to me, I'm not really that mad at him because people forget that this is a corporation, and in corporations, these type of things happen. That's the business of a corporation. One thing you do can get you let go for a long time, and that's just how these things work. Del Rio should have been more cautious on this, most definitely being the fact that everybody knew that there was cuts going around, and no easier way to get yourself cut is by doing something that is very stupid and doing something that will cost you your job anywhere. Putting your hands on somebody or any type of involuntary conduct or voluntary conduct that leads to something that's against work code can lead you to get fired. And this is a corporation; they're losing money, and the dude is getting paid a good amount of money. So let him go. It's not that hard choice for them. So, he wasn't being used that much right now. And just to end this real quick, I liked Del Rio. I thought he was a really good wrestler in the ring. Ricardo, who was just let go not a couple weeks back or last week, was another person they were both really good together, especially coming in. Everything that Del Rio did coming in was very nice. Everything going up to him winning that title just kept him looking very strong and stuff. I just thought that they really did neuter Del Rio, and he kind of neutered himself by not being the same guy he was when he came in. He was more of a brass aristocrat when he came in, and it made everything about him pop more and look more better. He just never found that way to change his character for the better, like a Shawn Michaels would do, or somebody like a Triple H or a Jericho. Most definitely a Jericho would do, to where that he evolved his character over time. Del Rio's character never evolved; it just got stale over time. So it just didn't have that evolution to it. Just my whole thing is, good luck to Del Rio wherever he goes. He may go get the mask back on, El Mascaras or whatever his name was, and do what he needs to do. There was talking of him going to AAA or going to TNA, but he got 90 days to figure out what he's going to do. So peace out, Del Rio. I really did like this dude. Like I said, I thought he was a really good wrestler, especially last year when he had the title. I thought that even though, he wasn't the best thing coming out, I thought that he had put on a few matches, especially with Christian, that were very fun to watch. And his matches with Edge were also pretty good too. So yeah, peace out, dude. Hopefully, you have better and endeavors going to the future, and hopefully you can come back to the WWE one day even better. So spent 5 minutes on this. Let's go to the next thing. Some more WWE video game picks. They sent out some stuff from Randy Orton with a title that says these are still a work in progress. And just more things. I like the way it's looking. Very sharp, very fresh. So, once I get my PS4 and stuff, when the game come out, probably get my PS4 next year, I'll pick it up and tell everybody how it was. So, let's start getting on to our reviews. And our first review is for Main Event, which happened on the 5th August 2014. And the show kicks off, surprise, surprise, with Alberto Del Rio on his last show for the WWE right now. And he basically came out, and it kind of had a feeling like, it was something special with him kind of here. Because he came out and he did his whole promo in Spanish. So I don't know if that he knew he was going to get fired at this point, or if he knew he was going to get let go at this point, but he did his whole promo in Spanish. He got the crowd very over. I think he was just thanking them for his whole career and stuff like that. And just, going back and forth with the crowd, just, in Spanish, saying a gang of stuff to them and just hyping them up. They were in a Texas crowd, so a lot of Hispanics there. And just, just him going back with them and hitting up the Mexico things. Then you get Zeb Coulter and Jack Swagger come out. Zeb kind of plays the whole, we don't want you in our country, speaking another language and, doing all this other BS. But we understand, you can't be hearing shit. He kind of played it tweener here, which I'm okay with, especially when, you're trying to get Del Rio a little bit of heat with the crowd to get them behind him a little bit, and Zeb kind of get the other side of the crowd, the American sides of, the people that are purebred Americans behind him. So they just basically played both of that. And I like this promo segment between both guys. I thought it was done pretty well here. And I thought, both of them did a nice job going back and forth with each other with the whole Mexican versus American thing. And they kind of played this towards more of, you're just another dude talking about another country, about Mexico, just like the Russians were. So I like that part about it. Next, you had a match with Goldust and Stardust, Dust Brothers versus Slater Gator, Heath Slater, and Titus O'Neil. The match itself was okay, pretty average. I thought Heath Slater and Titus O'Neil did an okay job here. I thought Stardust really looked well right here and did a lot of moves that, out of the Cody Rhodes repertoire, just pushing far further from that, just kind of like a flip on the things that Cody Rhodes would do. Like, instead of when he drops down and does the little punch to the chin, he now does a kick, which I like that. He kind of got caught up on the outside once Goldust started getting in wrestling and got a distraction, and Slater got another win. So Slater's second win in a row for them dudes, and that's crazy how it goes, dude. That's insane right there. So yeah. Next, you got a Divas match between, just how I feel about it. It was an okay match. It really wasn't nothing much to it. I am happy to see Slater and them get a win, but, I'm interested to see where they're going to go with the Dust Brothers, because this is their first loss since being back in action, and they only had 2 matches, including this one, since being back in action. Next match, of Divas match between AJ Lee and Summer Rae. The match itself was pretty normal for a Divas match. Summer Rae, she can at least work in the ring, unlike a few other Divas who can't even move around. Summer Rae can at least do that. She did a couple moves with AJ. They went back and forth for a little bit. Match ended pretty quickly, didn't get that much time. And, Summer Rae did what Summer Rae does, kind of played the character up a lot here, and it ended with AJ doing a spin into the Black Widow and making Summer Rae tap. So it was an okay match for what it was, pretty average at best. And AJ Lee afterwards starts cutting this promo, basically talking about this kingdom stuff. Go to this picture better, but talking about this kingdom stuff with her saying that she's a queen that got her title, that got her kingdom taken away by a witch, and then she came back as her own white knight and got it back. And basically between her and Paige. So you got Paige who came down, started saying crazy stuff to AJ like, I like you. I don't know why you're saying this stuff to me. You're a friend of me. And she goes off at the end and say I love you. And then you get AJ who came back. Sorry about the dogs, people. That shit happens every now and then. And you got people outside screaming and shit too. It's a fucking Saturday morning. Friday night. Yeah. So you get AJ who comes back and basically tells Paige, I understand that you're saying this is your ring, but you need to understand that this is my kingdom, and basically I'm going to beat you at SummerSlam. So an okay promo segment between both girls. Nice to see AJ back and kind of them getting more into the groove of what their characters are and what they're doing here. I would still like to see Paige get more heelish here, but you get what you get. Next, you got your main event, which is your last Alberto Del Rio match, and it's Alberto Del Rio versus Jack Swagger. And these two put on a pretty okay match here. They both work their separate styles. Alberto Del Rio being more of the striker, Jack Swagger being more of the athletic wrestler guy. And, they did exactly what they need to do in this match. Del Rio looked pretty good here. They did some nice spots here with both guys. It all ended up with Swagger putting Del Rio on an ankle lock and Del Rio hitting the taps. So, an okay match here. Swagger picks up the win, and, you get what you get. So, let's go on next to NXT, which happened on the 7th of August, 2014. And the show kicks off with a tag team match to set up the tag team tournament, which is Jason Jordan and Ty Dillinger versus Big Cass and Enzo Amore. And this is all for the tag team tournament. You got several teams in it, and it gets off with Big Cass and Enzo coming out, start doing their little, doing their whole little stick that they do coming to the ring, and they end it with Big Cass comparing themselves to the Kool-Aid Man and that they're going to bust through the tag team tournament, and then Enzo says that they're like shooting stars, they're falling or something like they take shower with stars, falling stars, some shit like that. But I thought it was an okay. The crowd got a nice little pop to it. I'm happy to see them do this again. They didn't do it the last time they had a match. So getting to the match, you have the match between Big Cass, Enzo Amore versus Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan. The match starts off with basically Big Cass taking the lead, beating up on Jason Jordan, and it ends up getting where they get back retaliation, starts going back at him. Then you get Enzo, who ends up getting in the match, and he gets a couple moves in, starts doing his little crazy man things, and ends up taking a boot to the head and gets knocked out immediately. They play it up as though Jason Jordan, Ty Dillinger are inexperienced and they just don't pin him. They try to just do more damage, and they end up getting him into the corner, and they go for a tackle, a shoulder tackle or whatever you call it, into the corner, and you get Big Cass, who ends up taking a tackle for Enzo, and they argue with the ref, and then Big Cass comes in behind when the ref back is turned and hits the big boot to, I think it was Ty Dillinger. That got the big boot, and Enzo fell on top. 1, 2, 3, and you got Enzo and Big Cass are moving on in the tournaments. I like that they showed Big Cass being kind of the hero, protecting his homeboy and even putting his own body on the damage of, coming in and taking a hit for his boy, and then coming in and, after the other guys, have their backs turned with the ref, giving him the big boot and kind of taking it there and having Enzo just pick up the win and not even really know he won. I really did like that, and I thought that was a really nice way. As far as the match win itself, it was an okay match. I thought that Ty Dillinger and Jason Jordan really didn't show that much character here, and it really, the moves weren't really that crazy. I think that, the ending kick was the best thing I've seen them do, but it really wasn't anything too much from them. I did like the stuff with Enzo and Big Cass here. They interacted with the crowd. You know, they did what they needed to do to keep going. So next we get CJ Parker, who comes down. He has a sign that says "Stop fracking, stop fricking fracking" or some bullshit like that. Cuts a promo, basically the green bullshit, and gets in the match with Xavier Woods. The match itself was very mediocre, and the crowd really wasn't into it at all. They even started doing a wave while CJ Parker was on the offense. You had Xavier Woods, who got a little bit of offense in, got the crowd kind of more back into him, but not really much. CJ Parker hits his kind of new finisher, which is just a kind of turn Samoan drop, and he just lands him on his hips. Lands Xavier Woods on his hips. Nothing too much to this match at all. It was just more of a kind of final battle between both guys, and you get CJ Parker, who picks up the clean win here. He just debuted a new finisher and nothing really much. So yeah, I mean, it didn't even play anything up until the stuff that Xavier Woods is doing on the main show, which I'll talk about later, about them not playing up to that type of stuff. So you got that match. Then afterwards, you get Bayley versus Eva Marie. You got Bayley, who came down first with the whole waving inflatable tube arm, guys. And then you get Eva Marie, who comes out and she's sitting on top of this little stage thing and basically doing sexy poses or whatever. I guess this is what they're portraying her character to be, this kind of vixen or whatever, and she basically comes down to the ring and blows kisses to people. The match itself between Bayley and Eva Marie was very, very poor. I mean, Eva hit, I believe, 2 moves, not even any really like running to the ropes or anything. She hit the suplex and she did a hold, and that was about it. Bayley did several moves after she got her offense back at the end, and ended up doing the what is it called, the hugplex or whatever it's called, and picks up the win from that. Bayley looked good here. She interacted with the crowd. She did exactly what she needed to do. I didn't like Eva at all. She really didn't do anything. When she did do when she was doing the hold, she wasn't really putting it in. She was just holding the girl's arms, Bayley's arms, and not really looking like she's, adding pressure to Bayley. So it really wasn't doing anything. And yeah, that was the match. Bayley got the win, and it was just pushing Bayley forward to the NXT TakeOver pay-per-view. So after that, you get your main event, which is Sami Zayn and Adam Rose versus Tyson Kidd and sorry about that, people. Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel. Some shit that was fucking with this damn computer. Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel. Before the match, you had Tyson Kidd and Justin Gabriel antagonize Sami Zayn for not having a partner and going into the tournament match, but this is another tournament match, and you get Adam Rose, who comes in the back end, basically says, "I'll be your partner." The match itself was pretty chill. You get Adam Rose, who starts off the match. Both him and Sami Zayn get big pop from the crowd. You get a lot of the crowd talking shit to Tyson Kidd as always, which is very good, drawing him more heat, and they just beat up Adam Rose at the beginning of the match. They go in and just start kicking him in the corner and stuff. He does this one thing where Adam Rose is playing around with the guys. He slaps Tyson Kidd on the ass, then does this whole thing where they run on the outside and ends up slapping Justin Gabriel on the ass, and then they make that into where they trick him into running into an elbow and get him back in the ring and just start demolishing Adam Rose. So they go for that, and they end up just kind of going back and forth until Adam Rose brings up his knees on a elbow drop, and then you get your boy Sami Zayn, who gets in, and he just starts going wild. A lot of jumps, a lot of crazy things. He does the little dives onto the outside. Adam Rose does a dive off the top rope onto the outside. Sami Zayn hits the haluva kick onto Justin Gabriel. 1, 2, 3, picks up the win. Sami Zayn and Adam Rose is going on to the next round of the tag team tournament. I thought this was a pretty chill match. Both of them going back and forth. A lot of character here. A lot of character. The only one who I didn't think delivered any real big time character at all was Justin Gabriel. But I got a lot from Tyson Kidd here. Got a lot from Adam Rose, surprisingly. And got a lot from Sami Zayn. So yeah, you got what you got, and I thought it was an okay match. And now you have Enzo and Big Cass and Sami Zayn and Adam Rose moving to the next spot of the tag team tournament. Surprisingly, not in this whole tournament bracket is the Legionnaires. I heard that one of them, Marcus Louis, had a broken leg, but I heard that a few months ago when they were still doing those other tapings. So I'm not sure what they're doing with those guys. Every other tag team is in here, and they even put some guys together to make a tag team. So I'm not sure if they're going to have some type of interference with Enzo and Big Cass, or if they're not going to be on here because of Marcus Louis having that broken leg. So next we can go into SmackDown, which happened on August 8th, 2014. And the show kicks off with Dean Ambrose, who comes down to the ring, starts going, crazy little jokes and stuff like that, talking about him ripping up Seth Rollins' contract and dumping popcorn and soda into the stuff, and starts taking a jab at JBL for fucking up his hat and stuff. And then he brings out this list saying, the authority gave me the right to set up a match at SummerSlam and set up my own stipulation for it. And he starts naming off all these crazy things, like he wants to set up alligators around the ring, but that's not plausible and shit like that. So he starts going through all that. Then you get Seth Rollins, who comes out and basically says, get to the point. I'm tired of all the bullshit. Get to the fucking point. Dean Ambrose finally says, okay, you know what? We're going to have a lumberjack match. He says different names for it, and Seth Rollins okay with it, but he says Seth Rollins comes back and tells Dean Ambrose that that authority gave him the chance to put up a match tonight for Dean Ambrose. I'm tripping. I don't know why I was tripping on that fucking name, but put up a match for Dean Ambrose, and it's against Randy Orton. As far as this whole little beginning promo goes, I thought it was pretty good. I thought Dean Ambrose was very good on the mic, and I thought Seth Rollins did an okay job on the mic as well. And I thought, they both went back and forth with each other, and it did hype up the whole the whole match for SummerSlam with both of these guys, and I liked it a pretty good amount. Next, you get your first match, which is the Big Show, a returning Big Show, and Mark Henry returning to SmackDown since he came back on Raw on Monday, and they faced Ryback. So I like this match how it started off with just Ryback and Curtis Axel kind of trying to trick out Mark Henry, playing games with him and stuff, and just Mark Henry coming back strong man, both guys. And then you get Ryback, who kind of, plays dirty tricks with them and stuff. And kind of, trying to get his best to, get Mark Henry down. And then you get just him and Mark Henry and Big Show just go crazy once Big Show gets a tag in. World's Strongest Slam to Ryback, turning choke slam to Curtis Axel, and Mark Henry and Big Show picks up the win here. I'm not sure where they're going with this. I heard that, they may end up doing a tag team match with Ryback, so as far as on SummerSlam, but not with them losing twice in a row. But I'm not sure where they're going with these two guys. It may just be them coming back since a lot of people are in Australia and them doing a match right now. But, it is what it is. I thought it was an okay match here. Next, you get Damien Sandow, who comes down, and he's dressed as a Border Patrol agent, and he basically starts talking shit to Sin Cara, saying, you're illegal and shit like that, and the country hasn't really checked up on all these Mexicans and shit like that. He gets in a match with Sin Cara, does his moves. Sin Cara comes back, does a gang of shit to him, hits a swanton, picks up the win. Nothing too much to this. It wasn't as bad as the OU stuff that Sandow did on Monday, but it was whatever. Another Sandow segment. Next, you get the big promo stuff between John Cena and Brock Lesnar. Again, I watched this whole thing again because I thought this is very good. They do a very well job of just the way they set up this promo. It kind of had a big fight feel, like a UFC type fight feel between both guys, and I thought this was a very good promo. Just like I said on Monday, this was a very fun promo to watch. Next, you get a match between Seth Rollins and Dolph Ziggler, and this all comes down from Dolph Ziggler kind of making fun of Seth Rollins in the back of the whole Dean Ambrose situation. And I like that they did this where it wasn't just a match that was happening. They actually gave a little bit of setup to it with some backstage stuff, just really quick, with with Ziggler just taking jabs at Seth Rollins, just laughing at him around other people. Seth Rollins overhear this and challenge him to a match. And the match itself, I thought, was very entertaining. Both guys, really worked well together. Got a lot of chemistry, and Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins gets a lot of heat from the crowd from everything that he's done since breaking up with the Shield. And Ziggler, the underdog babyface, is getting a lot of cheers from the crowd, and both of them just had a lot of fun going at each other. You get it coming down where Ziggler hits a famouser out of nowhere after just a crazy amount of mix up between both guys. Ziggler ends up getting thrown into a post and then thrown into the steel steps, and then once he gets back in the ring, gets hit with the curve stomp for his troubles, and you get Seth Rollins, who picks up the win here. Like I said, I thought this was a very fun match between both guys, and I thought they did a nice job of just going back and forth with each other and just letting the chemistry, letting the character play out, and just having a fun match, which I thought this was. Next, you get a Divas match, which was between Paige and Natalya. Another match that I thought that was pretty fun to watch. I just wish that it had more time. Just you start off with just Paige starts fucking with Natalya, pushing her face and shoving her and stuff. Natalya takes that, hits her with a clothesline, and just gets crazy with it, starts doing a gang of moves or just a couple moves, and gets her into the sharpshooter. Paige gets out, gets on the outside, hits the Paige turn on Natalya, and does a primal scream at her. Gets back into the ring, couple more moves, put her into the PTO, makes Natalya tap out. I didn't really like that, they're playing this up so early. You can get a lot out of a Natalya and Paige match. But it is what it is. You got what you got. And I just like that, they let this play a little bit that it did. I just wish that this was a lot longer. This could have went 10 minutes and you could have a very fun match between both girls because they know how to work with each other. So next you get a match with Big E and Rusev. Rusev basically crushes Big E. I didn't understand this at all. I thought Big E was doing the whole thing with Xavier Woods and Kofi. I do understand that Kofi's in the Australia on the Australia tour right now, but that still doesn't make an excuse for why you would put Big E in this type of match where you're trying to build him up in a faction, but he's just getting squashed. You didn't see the faction all this week, so I don't know if they just dropped it or not, but I hope not, and I hope they do keep going on with them guys, but I have no idea what's going to go on, and it was kind of sad seeing Big E just get squashed again. So next you get Chris Jericho, who does a backstage promo on Bray Wyatt, basically talking about how the other two guys are out the way, and now it's time for him and Bray Wyatt to get crazy and go at each other. Pretty okay promo from Chris Jericho. I just wish there was more in-ring back and forth promo between him and Wyatt. I think that right there would make this just whole feud just pop even more. So hopefully, they have a good match and they can continue to feud with one more match with a big stipulation to it. So next you get your final match, which is Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton, and I actually thought this was a okay match here. A lot of physicality between both guys, just a lot of back and forth and stuff. Just the way Dean Ambrose and the way Randy Orton works, just a lot of brutal blunt hits to each other, and just them going back and forth and stuff. It comes down where Dean Ambrose starts going off, get a lot of offense. Seth Rollins tries to come for the distraction, ends up getting hit, turn around, gets Randy Orton into the Dirty Deeds, hits it. Seth Rollins interferes, and Dean Ambrose wins by DQ. What I was going to say, Dean Ambrose wins by DQ. Seth Rollins gets in, starts fighting back and forth with Dean. Dean kind of gets a little bit of the edge up, but ends up getting the RKO for his trouble. And then you get Seth Rollins that just starts going to work, beating the shot at Dean, gets him back in the ring, gets a soda from the crowd, and just starts pouring it all over Dean, getting some payback. And just hitting him with soda in the head, and then ended it all with a curve stomp and standing tall for the night. So I thought, the match itself was okay between both guys. We have seen the whole Dean Ambrose versus Randy Orton match about a couple times now, so it wasn't nothing new, and I don't think that they did anything that they haven't done before there. But it was an okay match, and I did like the end segment with Seth Rollins getting his revenge. So as a heel, it really worked for him, and as a show tonight, I thought SmackDown was a pretty chill show. I think for so far it was my show of the week. Surprisingly, I didn't like Raw at all this week. Main event was okay. NXT was okay. It just was like a middle of the road show. But as far as the ratings go, I would give main event a C plus, NXT a C plus, and actually SmackDown a B minus. So thank you for watching my review, guys. Links are down below. Hit me up on either one of the links. Like, comment, subscribe, and thank you for watching wrestling, people. I know it's been a hard time in the WWE and for wrestling in general. A lot of it isn't crazy good, but keep going. Hopefully, this is just a down point, and SummerSlam will be very fun. So, thank you for watching my video. Keep watching wrestling. Let's go. Peace.